Hi, I'm Peter Lamantia, CEO of Authentic Web. I want to provide an overview of brand top-level domains. After 14 years, the next round opens in April 2026. Today I want to cover why you want to own your Brand TLD. I want to do so by comparing the status quo to a Brand TLD digital identity strategy and show that you need to adjust to this new paradigm and that it's a fantastic thing for your organization, your customers, and your supply chain. First, I think it'd be helpful to provide a quick evolution of brand top-level domains. In 2012, ICANN launched the new TLD program. 1,400 new top-level domains were applied for, and 500 of those were brand top-level domains. In 2015, we started to see initial use cases. In 2016 to 19, we saw more and more, and some companies transitioned entirely to their brand top-level domain. What was very interesting to me that between 2020 and 2025, digital security emerged as the top value driver of owning your brand top-level domain. Now, security spans a few areas, including the visible web, websites, and email. But it also means infrastructure, service architecture, and it's about DNS security policies and controls. This stems from a single point of control and the ability to automate all DNS security policies without dependencies on third-party registries or registrars and right to the root of the internet. All of these can be automated with control systems. Now, in 2026, the next round is here. You don't want to miss it. It could be years before the next opportunity happens. You need to get yourself informed, educate the C-suite, so that they can make an informed decision and give you approval to get your top-level domain. Let's start with the status quo approach. The cost of managing domains, DNS, TLS certificates, and brand protection programs has just continued to grow. In 1995, you had a few domains, but it grew, and it grew. And now in 2025, you own hundreds or even thousands of domain names. And now the namespace is expanding again. In 2026 and beyond, you're going to be forced to register many more domains if you maintain the status quo strategy. That is costly, it's not effective, and in my view, you need to stop it. It's not going to work. Your efficacy on brand protection is simply not there. And your total cost of ownership just continues to increase, and you're saddled with bloated domain portfolios that simply cost you money. When you compare the status quo total cost of ownership to a Brand TLD digital identity strategy, the picture is pretty clear. As we've seen, the status quo is just driving up costs higher and higher without end. A Brand TLD strategy will see an initial CapEx investment, which is not insignificant, but the cost to scale that ecosystem is much less than maintaining the status quo. With a Brand TLD identity, you'll be able to reduce a lot of the cost burden that you have on your bloated portfolios, and your brand protection work effort will also decline. So the question is, where do you want to be in 5 to 10 years with your digital identity position? To me, it's obvious. You want to own your own space. Have a digital identity that is authentically your brand and trusted. There's a solid ROI here just on the total cost of ownership, because you can lower your cost structure while also gaining the digital identity trust and use case benefits. Your communication strategy can be set up and be more effective for engagement, and security and compliance can be assured because you can automate all of this with single control systems. So in my view, the status quo is just not a strategy that works going forward. Let's itemize this in plain language. Today, you rent space in various TLDs, and you're dependent upon these third parties. You register hundreds or thousands of domain names as defensive registrations over 1,000 different top-level domains. You use multiple registrars and DNS providers, which increases your supply chain attack surface risk and cost. And if you're like most enterprises, your DNS security posture is lacking, non-compliant with InfoSec frameworks. We've conducted DNS security assessments on hundreds of companies, and they all have the same DNS vulnerabilities because they do not have centralized control systems nor DNS security monitoring. You're also forced to acquire premium domains for tens of thousands of dollars for new business initiatives. And then, of course, you need to register defensive domain names to protect those premium domains. Lastly, you spend on brand protection programs to deal with infringing domains and execute takedowns. And it's frankly not effective. It's a whack-a-mole game with bad actors. And all of this drives your total cost of ownership increases year over year over year. But still, IP protection and DNS risks continue to increase. The namespace is expanding. There could be another 1,000 top-level domains. So what are you going to do? Are you really going to continue to register and accumulate thousands of more domains to defend your brand? Are you really going to spend acquiring on premium domains and executing takedowns? And are you really going to let the siloed, non-compliant DNS security risk state compound with more and more domains? This is madness, and the status quo is not a viable digital identity strategy going forward. Let's step back. Let's look at consumer trust. What are people out there thinking about your brand, and how are they engaging with your brand? Do we trust the internet? The obvious answer is no. There's a lot of security risk on the internet. We know we're not supposed to click on links from email. We just don't know where we're being redirected sometimes. So the answer is no. We don't trust the internet, and nor should we. And if we cannot trust the internet, how can we trust your digital brand? So what is a digital brand? A digital brand is everything you do to engage with audiences and serve clients and customers, generate new business, address subscriptions, and anything that you do online. This is your digital brand. And that digital brand depends upon the domain name system. There is no internet without the DNS. So let's think about a brand TLD strategy and what that could mean for you as compared to the status quo. A brand TLD is proprietary. You own it. It's a trusted namespace. You can secure it, and it's authentically your brand. People will know that they're engaging with your brand and that it's secure, it's scalable, and it's a platform for innovation to be able to deliver new, better, and different programs and experiences that you could not do with a regular top-level domain. You control everything end-to-end through a single control system without dependencies on various third parties. You have visibility to see data that you've never seen before. For example, there's something called NXD data. That means non-existent domains. So if someone types in abc.brand into the URL, you'll see that and all the traffic behaviors that you can then use AI to train and figure out, okay, how can we innovate here? What are people doing? How can we deliver more value? Imagine a proprietary platform where all the internet data is yours. It's a new data source. Plus AI, that's a game changer alone. What do people want? What are people searching? How are they engaging? And then, of course, you can automate everything to lower your total cost of ownership, keep yourself secure. It's a trust anchor that audiences and customers will come to depend upon. Boiling it down, here are the key business case drivers. Consumer trust. We've established that you're going to improve consumer trust. And we've seen a lot of brands already prove this with their engagement levels and response rates when they use their brand TLD in their marketing communications. You can also automate the security and compliance operations, systems-based versus relying on people. You can simply know that you've got everything secure, you're compliant with your InfoSec frameworks. And related to that, you'll reduce your total cost of ownership. Not just by reducing your bloated domain portfolios, but also through automation and operational day-to-day efficiencies. And you can differentiate. Why are we different? Why should a consumer engage with our brand versus another brand? And having a brand TLD gives you the opportunity to drive new programs out into the market that make you new, better, and different. All of this then helps you drive more top line and improve your contribution margins. At Authentic Web, we built a business model ROI calculator that quantifies what you're doing now and how it will compare to a brand TLD digital identity strategy. This underpins the business case that you can deliver to your executive team to gain approvals to go get your brand top level domain. These are new capabilities: trusted, secure, controlled customer engagement, intuitive navigation. It's just so simple to launch a program and set a domain that perfectly represents the program and the messaging and drive that out into the marketplace. Data visibility, we've talked about this. Harvesting that data, apply AI training to it. You own this ecosystem. And for your customers, your partners, your employees, your services, and your network are all based on your brand top-level domain, giving you massively improved control and authority to those services that are also massively scalable. Yes, there's CapEx to apply and own it, but once you do that, scaling is unlimited and at a low marginal cost. So this is a proprietary network at the root of the internet. What's fantastic about a Brand TLD is that you own it, while it leverages the commons and the ubiquity, the security, and the stability of the DNS that is globally available. Let's summarize this into 4 areas. Security, mitigate risks on phishing, hijacking, spoofing, network security, supply chain. All of this can be done more effectively if you own your own space. It's brand authentic. Audiences, customers, partners will trust this space. If it ends in a brand top-level domain, I trust it. Marketing communications. Clear, memorable campaign messages for product, brand, channel, promotion, social. You can set up anything and have that go out into the marketplace under your authentic brand. Control and compliance, critically important. You have the registry authority. You are the owner of this entire space. You can centralize governance, you can establish change management, and you can automate this through a single control systems to the root of the internet, your Brand TLD. So all of these have the effect to deliver a very significant return on investment. And I think now you can see it. Reduce your total cost of ownership, reduce your bloated portfolios, your premium purchases, and your brand protection initiatives. Improve audience and customer engagement in your marketing campaigns. You can differentiate yourself, improve operational efficiency, benefit top line and contribution margins. When you think about it, it's really a natural evolution of the internet. With thousands and thousands of top-level domains, it just makes sense that a brand needs to own their own space where customers know that this is the authentic brand that they trust and want to engage with. Hundreds of brands are already active with their brand top-level domains because they understand that as the internet expands, they need to own it so that they can be trusted. Finally, a Brand TLD is a digital moat. So think about that shiny brand castle. Put a moat around it, make it stand out, build new spires, and secure it. Audiences will know that they're dealing with your trusted brand. Now, this is just an introductory video of why you want to own it as compared to the status quo, but there's much more that you need to do, and we can help. So, you need to know both the CapEx and the operating costs. You need to build a Brand TLD business case with an ROI. You need to develop an executable business strategy. And we can help here as we build something called the Brand Registry Introduction Path, which is essentially a product introduction process that maps to a Brand TLD. And it's done through the context of people, story, process, and capital. And it takes teams through a stage gate project from ideation to strategy to execution planning, and finally to go to market. You'll also need to know the timeline and the process to figure out that work back schedule. The deadline is in April 2026. That's not far into the future, and budgets are being prepared now for 2026. So there is some urgency here to get this in front of your executive team. Then, of course, there's technology and vendors you need to prepare and apply and go to market. We plan to publish additional videos related to each one of these topics. However, if you'd like to learn more now for a deeper dive, contact us and we'll share these details on how Authentic Web is positioned to support your company to get your Brand TLD and DNS security in general. Our technology has been built up over a decade for this purpose. It's to change the model to empower teams to establish a robust DNS security practice with automation, monitoring, and other tools, to make it easy for teams to see what's live on the internet and to address risk where it occurs. Second, our experience. Our executive team has over a century of deep expertise in domain, DNS, legal, strategic planning, and execution. We live and breathe domains and DNS and have done so for decades. We've also partnered with like-minded organizations, and collectively, we were involved in over 150 top-level domain applications in 2012. And then most importantly, our customers trust us to deliver on the promise of systems automation, control, visibility to address DNS security risk, and to make management of their DNS space easy. We'd be pleased to help you with your business case, your ICANN application, go to market, and of course, and most importantly, providing modern technology that you're going to need to deliver the ROI that gets specified at the beginning of the client engagement. I hope you found this to be useful information of why you want to own your brand top-level domain. Reach out if you'd like to learn more, or watch this space where we're going to publish information to help educate yourself and your leadership. It's a really exciting opportunity to own your own space, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.